Hello and welcome back. My perfectionist tendencies have thoroughly gone out the window. I used to do so much makeup. I have so much makeup and I kind of just stopped playing with it a long time ago. And now that I'm like back trying to play with it, I had to give up. This blood splatter was not working. My hands were getting messier than anything. I was just like, no more. I'm done. This is good enough. I'm wearing red lipstick for the first time in too many years. Over the introduction, let's get into this. Let's pull for trick or treat! I have no idea what I'm wanting, what I'm looking for, what I'm in the mood for. Horror would be cool. I had a lot of friends suggest a lot of like horror books and then a lot of like just absolutely non-spooky books whatsoever, which is very funny, but ooh, this one's a newer one because I ran out of colored paper for some of those late submissions. Can you read that on the white paper? Yes. Ooh, Master of Death. Okay. Thanks, Joanna. This is interesting. I wish I could tell you where this book was. I swear I own it. I have no idea where it is, but this was a, I believe, trick book. I'm gonna have to double check, but I think this might have been a trick. So that's very interesting. This is Olivia Blake. Let me go see if I can scour my shelves because I swear I have it. Okay, it was hidden deep away, but I have a special edition. I want to say this is Owl Crate. Yes, this is Owl Crate's special edition. I don't really know much of anything about this, so I'm very intrigued. Obviously, I have it on my shelf, so that's like kind of a win for me, even if I don't like it. The only Olivia Blake I have read is The Atlas 6, which I thought was fine. I was listening to the audiobook. I didn't physically read along, so I think that hindered the experience a little bit. So I'm definitely excited to pick up another Olivia Blake. This is my third or fourth on the shelves because she's huge. People love her. Book subscriptions specifically love her. I have, her newest one. I have 2 editions of it. One I'm probably gonna sell because I don't like them that much, The Gifted and Talented. So I am intrigued with her writing style. She kind of shifts around to different ways. So I know her of The Atlas 6, which was like an indie to traditionally published book that people really liked. It's dark academia, you're following 6 characters. That one's fun. I think I need to revisit now that the trilogy is like out and done with, but I have not read it in a while and I don't remember it super vividly. But I know that like Gifted and Talented is more like stream of consciousness, just like words vomiting onto the page. So I'm curious to see like where this one's going to land when it comes to her writing style. So this is following a Viola Merrick, who's a struggling real estate agent, but also a vampire. Oh god, this is the perfect spooky book. Ah! Okay, wait. But her biggest problem currently is that the house she needs to sell is haunted. Oh my gosh. The ghost haunting the house has been murdered, and until he can solve the mystery of how he died, he refuses to move on. Fox Demora is a medium, and though he is also most definitely a shameless fraud, he isn't entirely without his uses, seeing as he is actually the godson of death. I'm so freaking pumped. Wait. Okay, when Viola seeks out Fox to help her with the ghost-infested mansion, he becomes inextricably involved in a quest that neither he nor Vi expects or wants. But with the help of an unruly, sharp-voiced angel, a love-stricken reaper, and a few mindfulness-practicing creatures, Vi and Fox soon discover that the difference between a mysterious lost love and an annoying dead body isn't nearly as distinct as they thought. Wait. This might be like fantastic. I really hope that I like this. It's not too terribly long. Let's see. My pages are still kind of stuck together. 403 pages for this beauty. I'll show you some snippets of it close up for the special edition look and everything, but oh my god, I'm actually really excited about this. I really hope that I love this. Forever is a gift and a curse. This is like the perfect spooky book. Okay, I hope I love the romance. I hope I love the characters. I hope it gives like very good, kind of silly, goofy, but like autumn vibes, you know? That's what I'm hoping for. Yes! Thank you, Joanna! Am I eating chocolate chip ice cream with bananas that I may or may not be allergic to on a rainy day? You freaking betcha, man. This is gonna be my afternoon. I'm going to start reading. I'm in the YouTube hole of like constantly starting videos when I should be reading situation. So I have 1.5 videos to watch today. and a 5-hour long book to start. So I'm eating ice cream while I watch the videos. That way I feel a bit more productive because I don't like eating and reading at the same time. And then I'll start reading. Okay, you feel me? But yeah, I'm gonna eat this. If you don't see me, it's because I had to take a Benadryl and fell asleep, but... So I'm feeling kind of crazy, but I'm going to try and explain how I'm feeling about this to the best of my ability without being able to have access to my notes at this current moment. The elevator pitch, based off the synopsis that I already read to you, is that we are following a vampire real estate agent who's trying to sell a haunted house and calls upon a fraudulent medium, Fox, to help get the ghost out. And that's just like not what this book is in any way, because based off that, you think that the vampire, whose name is Viola, you would think that Viola is the main character. You would think that Vi, being this real estate agent and trying to commune with like this ghost, his name's Thomas Parker, something Parker the third, whatever. Her and Tom are my favorite parts of this so far. Like, they've got fun banter, they're very interesting. It's got that like almost cringe humor, and they're very like silly, quirky, funny, not very serious. But then you find out that Fox is actually the main character, and he has this tumultuous, somewhat toxic relationship and dynamic with this demigod who takes up a majority of the book. Now, you think that the book is going to be about an exorcism within this home so that they can sell it. It sounds like a goofy premise on the outside, and maybe that's my ignorance, not being super familiar with Olivia Blake. That doesn't sound like a book she would write necessarily, so this makes more sense for what it is. But we don't get to everybody joining together until like 100 pages in. And then we have a whole new plot door open up, and you go, oh, okay, we're going on an adventure. I see, we're going on a quest. Let's do it. Why not? Well, that quest ends up being that we need to find Fox's godfather, Death, like the tale godfather of Death, which Aaron A. Craig's book, The 13th Child, way better way. If you want the godfather Death story retold, way better than this. I'm sorry, this is too much. It's too convoluted for that. But we need to find Death, because there are these things that are the immortal games. And I am kind of spoiling things because this isn't really in the synopsis, but I think you need to know what you're getting into if you want to pick this up. But there's this thing called the immortal games, where a bunch of gods of literally all mythos, you've got gods, angels, you've got Lucifer, you've got the Greek gods, you've got Count Dracula, you've got the weirdest little group of people who are all immortal beings and whatever. So you've got a bunch of them, and they play this game. And it sounds like gambling from what I've heard. There's a ledger that's missing, and Death himself goes missing. So they need to find Death so that they can play this game. That's the plot, but I'm now like 60-something% into this, and no game to be seen. I have a feeling it's going to be rushed at the very end of this book, because instead we need to worry about all of the little backstory pieces between, what are their names, Fox and Brant. And it's like, good lord, I don't care about these men. I am so uninterested in them as people. I don't like any of these characters. I do not care about the world whatsoever, because it sounded fascinating at first, because we start with Vi, and she's like this cat vampire who goes to like these day creature meetings, and it's like AA but for creatures, to be like, oh yeah, we're living our life, like let's have community. That was way more interesting than whatever we're getting right now, and I'm just having a really hard time wanting to finish this, having the desires to finish this, which is really unfortunate, because I really thought that this was going to be like a 5-star, 4-star, really high rated book for me. Like, I thought I was going to love this, but there are so many characters that I'm like losing the plot myself, and they all have their own like side romances or their own like friendships, and there's just like so many moving parts constantly, but the focus at the end of the day is Fox and his relationship that I don't care about. And so I'm missing like so much with everybody else, because I think the guardian angel and I guess demon, I don't know what he is, but their dynamic is so much better than anything else. I really like Isis as a demon character. Like, she's very fun. I just am really struggling with like the tone of this book being like so melodramatic and having these beautiful quotes and like just being so extra, and then like turning around and having like the zaniest, wackiest like dialogue, and it's very dialogue heavy, and it's just, I'm losing my mind actually. I'm I'm having a really hard time. I've been listening to the audiobook because I can't focus my eyes on the pages anymore. I don't really like the narrator, unfortunately. He's kind of giving character voices that I'm just not really into. So that's kind of also maybe hindering my experience a bit, but I also just need to get this over with, so I'm not gonna switch to just physically reading. I started reading reviews, as some people do while they're reading the book, and the big takeaway that I had was that I'm more aligning with 1-star reviews than anything else, and that means that I'm not having a good time and I'm not liking the book because these people are making points and I'm agreeing with them, which is really unfortunate because I thought I was gonna love this. So that's kind of where we're at. I guess I'm gonna keep reading because I need to finish this. I honestly think that if I was not doing this video, I probably would DNF it because I'm just not vibing with it, which is really unfortunate. I'm sorry, but yeah, so I have like 2 hours left with the audiobook, so I'm gonna keep listening to that, and I'll check in with you guys later. Pray for me. Hopefully this gets better. I'm really looking forward to like the tournament game thing, so hopefully that will wow me at least in some way, because I love a game, I love a tournament, love a competition. So if that does something for me, that might, you know, bump up this a little bit, but I'm just like over the character drama. I am not a character driven girly. I want plot. I want so much plot, please. That's where we're at. So we finished, yay! I have a good amount of notes of just thoughts while I was listening. Got some cleaning done, at least. It is 11:28 p.m. and I have to say, Joanna, please, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to talk ill about a favorite book of a friend who's like, this is like one of my top 10 books to represent me as a person, like something I love and adore. So I'm gonna preface this whole review with, I don't think this is a bad book. I'm just not the target audience because it's not the writing style for me, mostly because of the way that it's told. I personally like a plot-driven story more than a character-driven story. I prefer first person over third person. I prefer a limited POV scope. I want 2 to 3 main characters POVs max. I don't want to be jumping around to a bunch of different characters all the time throughout a whole book. I don't want that vast in such a small book. This is 15 hours of an audiobook, which seems way too much for a less than 400-page book. Keep in mind, I read in the last one, Cinder, which is 390 pages, and I finished that in like 3 hours. So I don't know, like, it's not formatted in a way where like the font is tiny or the margins are small or anything. So I don't know why this is so long, and it feels long, and there's a lot of like dawdling and meandering that I just like didn't want, because I just wanted to see the plot. I wanted to know what was going to happen next rather than like the character emotional arcs that everyone was going through. I think this would have been better as a duology or maybe even a trilogy rather than a standalone, which is rare for me to say because I do love a standalone. But I fear this was just trying to do too much and was not able to pull all of it off, unfortunately. I think that it really, really attempted. I think that's brave of her, but I think if this was a duology or trilogy, we really could have had more time with each of the duos. Like, there's so many character duos in here that I think just like don't get to shine because so much of the focus is on Fox and Bant. you ever open to a page just like hoping that you'll find the exact name that you need? Brant, I think. I really struggled because I didn't care for them. I didn't care for their relationship. So like having so much of them on page all the time, you know? But I liked the bigger scope of the world. I did enjoy the glimpses of the gods. I kind of wish that we went more fantastical rather than realistic. I wish this was in a secondary world with made up gods rather than like Count Dracula sitting with Aphrodite. Like that just felt a little bit jarring to me. But if it was in a secondary world, I feel like we could have gotten a richer plot because we would make up gods. And like I like the idea of gods having these games that mortals aren't supposed to play. And pet peeve, everybody constantly was like, Fox is immortal. You can't be mortal and live 200 years without aging. That doesn't make any sense. This entire plot is like staked on the fact that like Fox, the godson of death, is a mortal person, like is just a human being, but he's also 200 years old and had like a love affair with a godling and is like able to commune with death to talk to like the loved ones as a medium. Like you can't tell me that if you don't age over 200 years like a vampire that you're still a mortal person. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like yeah, he'll die someday, but like no, a flaw. So that really bothered me. Let's talk about the writing style. So Olivia Blake has a very unique writing style that I think a lot of people talk about in pinpoint, but I also think that it varies book to book. Like this had some similarities to the Atlas Six, but still felt so very different. So it is interesting how she can craft worlds and books like this. She loves a parenthesis, she loves a long run-on sentence, she loves just a chunky description, a lot of dialogue that is cringy. People don't talk this way. It's like a mix of pretentious poetic phrases and just like cringe humor that like a millennial clearly wrote. I'm sorry to say it. But she loves her parentheses. But what I liked about the writing style is that because we're in this like omniscient, I think Death is telling us the story of his grandson Fox. So we're getting like some of the fourth wall breaking, some like direct to reader like statements. I mean like, check this out, which I think is kind of clever. But I appreciated that while that was happening, we were getting like, I don't know how to describe it. So we're like with Vi, and then we move on to the next chapter, and then we're with Fox, and then we go back to Vi leading up to the moment where she meets Fox. Like there's just like a very unique way of like a non-linear story being told, but still linear. Like we go back and forth. There's like plays that are dreams, and there's like interludes to talk about the past and all these things. So it's like interestingly told timeline wise, but rather than like the mixed media elements of it, I did like that we would like be in a scene and then we'd see the future scene and then we'd see how we bridge the gap in the scenes a little bit later. I did kind of like that because it would like take us through a story, kind of like how I would talk to you guys. If I'm telling a story, I might jump ahead and then I'd be like, oh wait, I have to go back because I forgot how we got there. And I did enjoy that. So not all bad things. I do think, again, like it's not a bad book. I think you just have to be the right reader for it. Like you have to like a character-driven story that's a little bit all over the place, a little convoluted. But the people who love this book so hard that like it's definitely got its audience, and I'm so happy that those people enjoy it as much as they did. I really wish that I was in that camp. That was like really my goal going into it. I was like, I want to love this just as much. The way that I felt towards this book is similar to how a lot of people felt towards Evocation by S.T. Gibson. A lot of people really didn't like that one, and minus like the sex, because this is clean, minus those differences, like how people felt towards Evocation is kind of how I feel about this book, where it's like it's got its audience. It's certainly not me though, but I really enjoyed Evocation, so I think that's kind of interesting. But my biggest critique is because we are trying to jam pack so many dynamics into this book, I really struggled with the pacing, especially towards the end and the middle. So it's like the first 100 pages, I was like kicking my feet. I'm like, this is gonna be a silly good time. We're gonna sell this haunted house. And then the tone shifts and swings in such a different direction that I wasn't prepared for, that my expectations from the synopsis, like this flap here, this synopsis like was so vastly different from the book that we got that it really kind of threw me off because I didn't have the right expectations, and I think that's part of the reason. So once we veer off into this new direction, we're getting flashbacks, we're getting like that linear timeline situation. And then the ending happens because we get to the games finally. And I don't understand them. I'm confused the entire time. I truly don't care at that point. Like, I'm just so checked out. It's like they're just saying who's winning, and I'm not really understanding what exactly is going on, because I was imagining like a poker game, and it's not really that at all. So we're announced these winners. It's a tournament style, so people are going head to head against each other, and like it sounds more interesting than it is, unfortunately, because we get to the end. A winner is announced, and I go, cool, the book is gonna end. We're gonna get an epilogue next chapter. No, there was still a full hour left in the audiobook, and I was just like ready for it to end. But then we get this huge flashback explaining a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, okay. And then we continue forward, and we finally get to the epilogue, and like so many things have to get tied in a neat bow by the end that it just felt so long, because there's so many characters and everybody needs their happy ending because it's a standalone. And I just was like, girl, end the book. Like, it really threw the pacing off so many times, because we'd be on a mission and then we'd sidestep and do a bunch of little side plots and quests that need to get done because character emotion stuff. And then we get back to the quest, and it just didn't feel like a priority, as if like the entire universe was not in the hands of these chaotic queers. So it was just like a very unique experience at the end of the day. And again, I have a lot of opinions on it because I wasn't having a great time, but I'm not saying that because it was a bad book. And I think, again, I don't want to make my friends feel bad because I don't like the book that they love. And I'm so sorry. It makes me feel really bad, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, like, it didn't work for me, and that's okay. And that's kind of part of the trick-or-treat experience. Like, you're gonna give me a book, and it might have been a treat, but it might have turned out to be a trick. Who knows? So that's just the fun of the game. But that is the end of this video. We made it to the end of Trick or Treat. This is Trick or Treat episode 7, I believe. We're on day 14, which means tomorrow, Wednesday, Chloe and I are going to do our halfway through Booktober sprints. So we're going to go live for a couple of hours, and we're planning to read Bunny together. I might end up reading some other stuff as well. Just kind of depends. Got lots to do tomorrow on sprints, so that'll be a lot of fun, but I will hopefully see you guys there. Currently we have them scheduled for 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which would be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard. I don't know, that might change, but by the time that I'm filming this, that is the time that we have set. But, you know, go turn the little like notify me button on, and then it'll let you know if those plans change, and it'll send you a notification when we go live. And I think that's everything. If you guys made it to the end of the video, if you want to put a little skull or my beautiful Owl Crate edition, this is such a beautiful cover, but unfortunately not my favorite book. But if you want to leave a skull in the comments to say that you made it to the end of the video, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow for some live sprints, or Thursday for my next trick-or-treat book video. Yeah. Bye.